Welcome to Hockey Nights in Vegas. My name is Eddie Rivkin. I am joined by Hawaiian Tropic Suntan Lotion super spokesmodel, Sarina Taylor, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you thinking about on Dumb and Dumber when they pull over that bus of the Hawaiian Tropic models at the very end?
Never saw it.
You've never seen Dumb and Dumber?
No.
Even Bjorn's like, come on. Guys, in the comments, right, Eddie's a fucking dumbass. You've never seen Dumb and Dumber.
No.
Okay, well then, I thought that's where that joke was going.
No, I was just referring that you're looking very shiny, light brown, tan, and I just guessed which was your suntan lotion company.
No, I have been in the pool for the past 2 days in a row enjoying it because it's been, 104 or whatever. So
right.
I've been enjoying the pool, and that's where I'm going right after this, ironically, to work on my Hawaiian Tropic situation.
Okay. We have a special sponsor for this episode, our friends over at Guerilla Pizza, www.guerilla, that's Guerilla, pizza.com. I hope that's the fucking website.
It's not.
It's
we
not.
missed an R, but that's okay. Just fucking show it. Like, listen, they'll find it. Like, Google it. It's a good place.
Yeah, Guerilla Pizza. And later on during the episode, we're going to give away some free pizza. They're going to have a watch party tomorrow and Tuesday night. Pizza and $2 beers.
Fucking A.
Right? It's a shame we're going to have to go to the game.
Yeah, too bad we got to go to the game because we could have got some pizza and beer I don't drink. And neither one of us drinks.
No, but we might score free pizza. All right, so that was a bumpy start. Let's talk about the Stanley Cup Finals. And ladies and gentlemen, Sarina and I have not spoken at all about the first two games. Every now and then we might chat a little bit to each other about something or other. This is completely hot takes. We have no idea what the hell is going to happen, but we're going to let her rip. So I guess we should probably start with game one. The whole world expected that Carolina was going to get shot out of a cannon, and they were. Terrible pinch, 20 seconds in, down one. Another bad turnover by an unusual source. I don't remember if Hanifin was first or Eichel. It was one of the two. The bottom line is they were down 2-0, 10 minutes to go in the game, and I could hear the tears of the Vegas Golden Knights fan base. I could feel them raining down slowly on me. But like the Golden Knights seem to do, they seem to be like a boxer who takes the first couple rounds and just sort of sees what the opponent's going to do. And they admitted that they weren't quite prepared for the speed that they had coming in. But they slowly but surely understood what was going to come at them, and they made the adjustments. Shea Theodore redeemed himself with a huge goal later in the first period to cut the lead to 2-1. That was probably the worst period we've seen from the Golden Knights in a long, long time. But what did you make of it? Were they nervous? Were they unprepared? Or did they just shit the bed a little bit and then decided, okay, enough is enough. We have no problems going down 2-0. Time to turn the game around.
I think a lot of different things. Whenever you start a playoff series against a team that you don't play very often, you never know what you're going to get out of Carolina. And Vegas was a team that had to travel across the country. It's a little different. Now, there are different thought processes from players I've talked to that have played in the Stanley Cup Final where they almost prefer to start on the road because they don't have the distractions. They don't have all those things. But what I took away overall, couple things, Vegas continues to get quick goals. And that's what they did. Yes, it was one at the end of the first period, one at the start of the second kind of thing, but those are considered quick goals. And they got them to tie it up and did what they needed to do. But they also, we saw a team that while they would sit back and watch what the other team was going to do, this team versus the first 74 games, like we've talked about, turned it around. And I think since Torts came on board, we've seen that not give up type of situation. And Torts is very good at seeing what's not working and making quick changes on the fly. And he just keeps saying no east-west, no east-west, right? So meaning go north-south, go the long way, go the distance, do the things. Carolina was, yes, they were fast. They're playing at home. They've got the excitement. They've got whatever. But I was just really impressed with the way Vegas hung in there, for lack of better words, in so many different regards. They didn't quit. They had made a mistake or two, and they didn't let it affect the outcome of the game.
I've got no panic, adjust and find your game. And this time, to the credit of the NHL production, they had Torts mic'd up, and in that second television timeout, we're a good team, going to get our chances, go, right? And there you saw in a 20-second little snippet the brilliance of John Tortorella, not as a coach, but as a psychologist. Yes, they had a terrible start, surprising nobody. He didn't even talk about X's and O's. He just reminded them we're a good team, we're going to get our opportunities, get to our game. No coaching, right? No this, no that. Now, he did coach them a little more last night where he said, enough, right? Go. But in game one, once they found their way, the formula was, in my opinion, right there for us. I believe that the Vegas Golden Knights are supremely more talented up front than Carolina is. Carolina's best line is their second and third line, the Stankoven line and the Eric Stahl line. Their first line should be on a milk carton because they've been missing the whole series. Yes, Jarvis got the game-winning goal last night, but it was a power play goal. At 5-on-5, I think they have 7 goals during the playoffs, and 3 of them might be empty netters. They've been awful. The Golden Knights can defend against Carolina's first or second and third line with any one of their 4 lines. You can't say the other way. The biggest takeaway is, and what I think will ultimately become the difference, is Carolina plays man-to-man in their D zone. Vegas does not. And if you just look at Tomas Hertl's game-winning goal, Shane Gostisbehere was a step behind him when he went to the wall. Sisson's guy was a step behind him when he got the puck. Shane Gostisbehere was still chasing Hertl when he went to the center of the ice, and Hertl finished. And if Carolina thinks that they're going to successfully chase the Golden Knights around the offensive zone, they're going to lose this series.
Well, I don't disagree. However, Carolina is overall a better defensive team, in my opinion, and because they're never caught. Some of the mistakes that we've seen the Golden Knights make in the playoffs and in the regular season were where they would get caught, not playing as well defensively. A lot of 2-on-1s against Anaheim, I think it was, or Utah. There were a lot of 2-on-1s where Carolina does not let that happen. So there's apples and oranges. But going back to Torts, they're not doing Carolina any favors putting a mic on Torts. That man knows exactly there's a microphone on him.
Of course.
And that's also part of being a good coach, is encouraging your team. Because right now, there's not much to teach them. Sure, you have to eyeball stuff on the fly, right? Hey, do this, do that instead of this. But from the part of the encouragement part, that's part of being a successful coach as well. And that was kind of the argument about Chris Knobloch in Edmonton. They're like, he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, he went to the Stanley Cup Final 2 years in a row as a brand new, because he's a coach, just like Torts is coaching them on so many different levels. And I love the job Torts is doing. He's always paying attention to what needs to be done to make changes. We saw it in both games multiple times. But again, I want to reiterate how strong Carolina is defensively. They are never, when they're, let's say, there's rarely any major odd man rushes because they are smart and they're proactive about it. And that's just the type of game they play.
Well, their defensive metrics certainly have been better. I will maintain, and I talked about this with Ryan Wallace on the Vegas Insider Show, that Carolina coming into the Stanley Cup Final had faced zero adversity. That's not being disrespectful to Ottawa. It's not being disrespectful to Philadelphia. When Montreal showed up, they had played 2 7-game series, and the young kids were just gassed. That's all. Mm-hmm. Carolina is certainly the better team, but if Montreal would have done their business in shorter order, that series might have been more competitive. But they came into the finals 12-1, and you can't say anything bad about it. 12-1 is still 12-1. Freddie Anderson had a goals against at like 1.5 and a save percentage at 9.44. You can't shit on that. I mean, those are real numbers. But much like people said that Vegas hadn't seen anything like Colorado, Carolina had seen nothing like what Vegas was going to bring to the table. When Ryan asked me, I told him, I said, all the kids are now on the golf course. This is grown-ass man hockey from here on out. And it's the way that it should be. I believe that the Golden Knights have a lot more advantages than I thought when the series started. I think they're a better team up front. The goaltending has been, I don't know, shockingly average. 9 goals in the first game, but more than that, 8 of those 9 goals were on absolute clean looks. The Theodore goal went off Robinson's shin pad, I think, their first goal. But the other 8 goals, 4 each way, no screens. I mean, just straight beating the goalie. And these are supposed to be the best 2 goalies, well, the only 2 goalies left in the Stanley Cup Finals. But maybe it was a little bit of nerves. But I would say the goaltending in game 1 was serviceable, but not even really good. So it was a bit of a feeling out process. The Golden Knights did what they had to do, but to my eyes, they showed me the path forward on their way to win. If they're going to win the series, how they're going to win the series.
I think that they started that against Colorado. I think that they've been playing really well 80% of the time. And that's a big number to say over the last 6 games. I think that Vegas has been in control the majority of the Colorado series, and maybe not so much in the Carolina series entirely, but I think that if they play the style of game that they played against Colorado, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is it tends to lead that path. Now, we've seen strong out of the Golden Knights. I don't think we've seen the maximum potential out of Carolina. There were times in the second game where it's like, oh, fuck, here they come. The third period, that was Carolina. We saw Logan Stankoven all of a sudden going balls to the wall again because he's been quiet. His line has been quiet. If Carolina plays the way they did in the third period of game 2, this is going to be a long series, but not both teams cannot be at their best at the same time for 60 minutes straight. So it's going to be who can ride it out to the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be ebbs and flows. We have to talk. We're going to talk about them. So we're going to talk about game 1, but we're going to talk about them in both sections of this podcast. The great Gretzky just fucking keeps scoring goals. It's unbelievable. He had 12 goals in 58 games in the regular season. He has 13 in 18 games in the playoffs. I don't know. The nicest kid to talk to in the room. Maybe he, maybe he's having the dad strong. Did you know that 5 Golden Knights wives have either had children or are expecting to have children in this little section of the playoffs? William Karlsson just had another one. I believe Brett Howden is one of those 5. He's playing like a man possessed. I don't want to say the 2 words on the shiny silver trophy that they give to the best player in the playoffs, but
no, come on,
but he's making a name for himself.
Listen, yes, but come on. Okay, this is why Brett Howden has been doing what he's doing. And again, this is not a knock against Bruce. Bruce, we love you. He finally had a coach that said, this motherfucker can go hard to the net. So I'm going to put him with the best playmaker on the team, the smartest player that we have in Mitch Marner. And Brett, you're just going to go to the net. It's like they're 8 years old. You're going to do this and you're going to do this. And Brett goes hard to the net. That line has an identity. Mitch does this. Wild Bill does this. Howden does this. Howden's not scared to go to the net, and he's strong enough on his skates to do it. That's the thing. You look at, like, Barbashev is just, all of a sudden, he's a bowling ball out there sometimes. Like, he's running over everybody, right? He's just one guy that'll go hard, but that's where that line separates themselves, is because they've got that Howden. Look at the goal that bounced off of 9 people that Mark Stone, like that one where Mark Stone, it went off Anderson, then off Mark Stone, then off Slavin's stick, and blah, 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 blah. That's because Mark Stone goes hard to the net. That's what's going to score goals. That's why Brett Howden has goals, because somebody finally said, this is what we're going to do. You've got the ability to do it. Let's go do it. Period. And Howden's talented enough and strong enough on his skates to do it.
Let me just give you this one little ditty for a comparison. The record for playoff goals in a season for the Vegas Golden Knights until last night was held by Jonathan Marchessault with 13. Brett Howden has 13. Jonathan Marchessault was fed by Jack Eichel. In my opinion, Jack Eichel was the Conn Smythe winner, but a lot of times they give it to the person who's got the most points. It's kind of just the way, the voting goes. Brett Howden has 13 goals in the postseason. He's being fed by Mitch Marner. The only difference is Mitch has a boatload more points. Mitch is up to 24. Jack's at 19. But you're right. When Wild Bill came back into the lineup, it was like an epiphany, right? All of a sudden, all the stars aligned and everything got in line, and arguably one of the better 200-foot centers came into the lineup, found instant chemistry, and, the results are what the results are. And if the great Gretzky continues to go this way, it's going to be hard not to, unless he stops getting fed by Mitch.
Well, he scored, like, let's all relax here. It was one game. He almost got 3 fucking when he went in.
Yeah.
But let's just, this is not a conversation I want to have yet.
Okay.
Because anything can happen, right? But I think overall, Mitch has been the best player on the team by far. I mean, it's just, it
really exemplifies what we've been saying about him the whole year.
Right.
Right.
If people don't see, like, listen, most of the fans here don't have the hockey mind. They haven't been watching hockey growing up, but I think they can appreciate Mitch's ability. But if you really do know the game and you know how good Mitch is, like, for example, the backhanded pass
to Carlson.
Yeah, in the first game. Not only, I mean, that thing was right on the tape. Not only did that play, before that, Mitch fed it to Howden. Howden took 2 or 3 guys with him, took a hit to make a play. Howden saw what was happening, fed it back to Mitch, and Mitch backhanded it. It was all 3 of them going. Howden is very heads up. Mitch is
head on a
he's
swivel.
Like a fucking owl. Like, he would see everything. It's unbelievable. And I don't want to say all Carlson has to do, because he's extremely talented. You have to be heads up to know what Mitch is going to do, to know what Howden's going to do. That's why those 3 are just magic together. For 3 guys that never played the whole season. Like, listen, you go into things like, what was that stupid fucking tournament last year called? The 4 Nations. You guys, like, things like that, Olympics, whatever. You put guys together that don't really ever play together, and it's like, holy fuck. But that's where look at 4 Nations. When John Cooper was literally looking around going, Mitch and Connor, go. And boom, they scored a goal. Because he knows those 2 are the best players. And so you go and look at it, and that's all Torts did. He went, who is Marner going to spark with? Or who's going to spark with Marner, vice versa? Fucking automatically Howden. And Bill, I mean, come on, throw him anywhere.
So at the end of the first game, I'm thinking to myself, the Golden Knights asked a question, and I'm not quite sure how Carolina's going to answer it. If you're Rod Brind'Amour and you won the first 10 minutes and you had flashes of brilliance, but Vegas controlled most of the play after 2-0.
In the first game.
In the first game. if you're Carolina, do you say we beat ourselves or Vegas beats us? Because if they say we beat ourselves, they don't make any changes in the lines. If they say Vegas beat us, and Rod's a stubborn fucking cat. He doesn't like to change his lines. And when he said in the postgame after game one, when they asked him about his first line, he said, yeah, they had a good shift in the third period. I'm like, that's a little condemnation. But the Golden Knights provided a question that it looked like even going into game two that Carolina wouldn't answer, because Carolina was stubborn until very late in the game, still didn't make any switches in that line.
Well, and this is going to be kind of a roundabout, but like exactly when I said, both teams cannot be playing at their best at the same time, because if a team like Vegas is playing strong, they're strong on all different fronts. You can't constantly be overtaking a team that's playing their best, not in the Stanley Cup final. You can't. If a team is playing their best, it's very difficult to do the things you need to do, because if you're doing the things you need to do, you're negating their strengths, right? Like, for example, Florida, what? Happy booling. So, oh my God, Vegas, they just tightened up the middle, right? Carolina had the luxury of playing teams that were younger.
And afraid to go to the middle.
Inexperienced, XYZ, all the things. It's a little different ball game when they didn't know what they were going to get out of Vegas. Again, they probably watched every single second of Vegas versus Colorado 6 times over to see what was going to happen. But until you get out there on the ice, it's a different story. And I think that Vegas has just done a good job on so many different levels, and a strong Vegas team is going to shut down Carolina. And to be fair, vice versa, right? So if Carolina starts pouring it on, Vegas is going to make it difficult. But I feel like Vegas is making it more difficult for Carolina to play their game than the opposite way around.
After you finished watching game one, did your opinion of the series outcome change at all? Either team or length of series?
No, it didn't. Just because the last 3, I'm not going to include the Colorado Stanley Cup from 4 years ago, but the last 3 Stanley Cups have all been completely different. Every single one of them had a different vibe. And even after the first 2 games, you never really knew what was going to happen. Look at 2 years ago when Florida went up 3-0 on Edmonton and Edmonton started charging. Everybody counted the Oilers out and not Connor McDavid. And that's a captain right there. Brought his team back to the brink, right? You never know what's going to happen. I still don't know what's going to happen. If Vegas keeps playing the way that they've been playing and catching steam, they're going to be fine. But you just never know what's going to happen. That's why I hate predictions.
I know. So before we go on to game 2, let's talk about Guerilla Pizza. My good friend Steve, I have no idea. Closer to me? All right, we're taking live cues from Bjorn as we go. Guerilla Pizza, www.guerillapizza.com. My good friend Steve is from Detroit, just like I am. Guerilla Pizza has the best Detroit-style pizza in Las Vegas. Hands down, I'm a fat guy. I know what I'm talking about. That's it. There's no other way to describe it. It's the best plug in the world because a fat guy likes your pizza. So Steve said to me today while I was having pizza before the podcast, hey, why don't you give away some pizzas to some of your fans?
Hey, why didn't you bring some pizzas to some of your coworkers?
Because there was nothing but an empty tray left when I got done.
Shame, shame, shame. Bjorn.
All right, call me an asshole in the comments. Yeah. So anyway, we have four $25 gift certificates to Guerilla Pizza. It's located 900 South Las Vegas Boulevard on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Hoover, just north of Charleston. They're having a watch party, and if you don't like going to bars and being overcome with drunks and crying and happy and sad and all the bullshit emotions that go with big watch parties, Guerilla Pizza tomorrow night is having $2 beers. The capacity, 35 people.
Yeah. There's no fucking around with all these people. Everyone's like, are you coming to the watch party at T-Mobile?
Fuck no.
I would rather cut a finger off. I'm like, absolutely not. It's not honestly, it's the getting there. It's the parking. It's the no, like I absolutely not. Nope.
No, 35 people, $2 beers. We've got 4 of these bad boys to give away. Bjorn, tell me if I'm too close or too far. Got 4 of these bad boys dropping. One worth $25 each, $2 beers. The first 4 locals who comment, I want pizza, we'll get them. We don't have time for contests.
Yeah,
the
no,
games
you guys
in a
just
day.
gotta fucking.
You just got to sort it out. And if we don't have a chance to meet before the game, which there's a chance that won't happen, we'll just give your name to them at the door and you can do it. But mark my words, if you are a pizza aficionado, like Mr. Fat Ass here, you're going to like Guerilla Pizza. So that's it, www.guerillapizza.com, Guerilla pizza.com. If you don't win, we'll probably have some more of these. I like Steve a lot, and for some reason he seems to like me, so we should be giving away a few more pies.
And we're almost, yeah. I mean, now we know there's only maximum 5 games left in this season.
Yep.
So people comment, get your pizzas.
Okay. So we're on to game number 2. For the first 50 minutes of game 2, Vegas, they embarrassed Carolina. There's really no other way to put it. I mean, they were, everyone said, oh, Carolina's going to come out like gangbusters and blah, 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 blah. It's going to be even more intense than game 1. Well, Vegas had already seen what it was in game 1 and was fully prepared for it. There was no real surge in game 2. The first 50 minutes were as good a hockey as I think I've seen the Golden Knights play, with the exception of part of the Colorado series. And then that McNabb incident happened. And you've been around the game and you've played the game and you've called the game. And I've been unfortunate enough to been hit in the face with a biscuit a couple of times. That was absolutely horrifying. And a friend of the podcast, Jeremy Lozon, took a slap shot off the face and got up and skated off the ice. Braden McNabb took an 87-mile-an-hour slap shot, allegedly off the visor, but the picture we saw, his nose looked like it was halfway behind his ear. And talk about, what do you guys call it when you're from the prairie strong? Is that it? Prairie strong? Yeah. He got up and skated his ass off the ice, probably wondering where most of his nose was. That was an enormous turning point in the game. Even though it was 9 minutes in, even though the Golden Knights had experience with losing Braden McNabb almost nearly the identical time from that other horseshit call in the previous, a couple series ago. But this is different. You have 5 defensemen left. You have Dylan Coghlan, who I wouldn't say they sheltered, but they were careful with his minutes. He's been very good. Well, there ain't no hiding when you're down to 5D and you're playing against Carolina. I'm torn between being critical of the D core last night because they made some bad mistakes. Rasmus Anderson's play on the Stankoven goal was inexcusable. All he had to do was move the puck up the wall. There was nobody there. He turns to go back the other way, gets his pocket picked. Unfortunately, it went off Jeremy Lozon's skate, and the next thing you know, a barn that was a funeral fucking procession is woken back up. How important was the Braden McNabb injury to the outcome of the game?
I don't know if it was that much of a difference in the way the defenseman played or anything like that. First of all, I was nearly sick to my stomach.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was really hard to watch, and I think it was just sheer adrenaline that got him up and off the ice. I don't even want to know. But I think that what people don't understand is how difficult it is to play the game. And when I was at Learn to Play the other day, I was talking to one of the girls that she's from Chicago originally, but she plays in Finland now, and she's back for the summer. And we were just talking about how people really don't know what it's like unless you've actually played it. And being down on the ice, her and I were talking because the reason it came up is because little kids, they will concuss you. They fall, they come up behind you, they take your feet out. You have to always be watching.
Little fuckers.
Well, like, so somebody got slew-footed essentially the other night and smacked his head on the ice. Like, we have to wear helmets and stuff, right? But we were talking about, I said, man, people just don't get it. And she goes, and she literally said to me, are you talking about Golden Knights fans? And I go, well, I guess, yes, but it's the people that have never played the game that are sitting here. I try not to get into it on social media because, I just don't have the mental capacity for that. But I saw someone popping off about Raz, and I'm like, you've probably never skated in your fucking life.
Oh, did you see the one where they said he blew the series?
No, thank God.
Oh, I was going to quote him, but I guess I probably won't now.
But like, guys, you've never even fucking skated, and you're going to comment on Raz made a mistake and this and that, and we'll get into the torts call thing, whatever. You don't understand. You don't understand. These are human beings that make mistakes. Raz made a mistake. It's the fucking only mistake he's made since he's been here. Can we talk about all the positives? Like we talk about the goaltending. And it's like, sure, they all make mistakes. And I haven't seen anybody popping off on Carter Hart because I wasn't looking. But I'm sure there's a million out there. And it's like, again, you don't understand. So it's like all of these things affect the outcome of the game. McNabb getting hit in the face. Raz doing this, right? Raz didn't lose that game himself. There was more than one goal scored in the game. Like all of these things happened, and it's just lay off Raz. But as far as, if you look at the numbers, I mean, Carolina was good last night. Like Vegas is pulling a Montreal. 2 goals on 4 shots, the first 2 games or whatever it is. They're pulling the Habs. They're fucking scoring, and they're not getting shots. And so Carolina has been out shooting. They've been out chancing. They don't look dynamic because they're not a dynamic team, but they're a good hockey team. And Vegas is going to have to be careful because the mistakes like Raz and whatever, you can't make those mistakes against Carolina. They'll capitalize.
I think the effect wasn't the actual hit to the face. I think it was the fact that you have to juggle 5. You have people playing on the wrong hand significantly more often. And, you have Dylan Coughlin, who's been great since he's called up, but he played 16 plus minutes last night, which is a lot for a 5-6. And, there was some concern after game 1 that Anderson and Noah Hannafin have struggled a little bit, and they struggled a little bit last night. But I'm going to call that an outlier because they all played. They never settled in with their own regular partner. It was literally just, John Stevens seeing 3 bodies on the bench and trying to figure out, who's
the least tired
guy?
Yeah,
who do you divvy up these minutes and who's huffing and puffing and things like that.
And just to quickly touch on that, when players make mistakes, there is fatigue involved. There's fatigue.
That's the point. I think that they got fatigued in the third period. Crowd noise is crowd noise. They've all played in monumentally loud arenas. I think that the pace of the play with only 5 instead of 6, I think that's the effect of it.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I thought you meant like a momentum shift. And
No.
Like, oh. But that definitely does make, it's not just fatigue on the body, it's fatigue on the brain. And we did see Raz talking to Torts right after that, probably trying to explain what he saw.
Right.
And you guys got to understand, when you're on the ice and you're ice level with all these huge motherfuckers and it's going fast, you don't have time to decide, yes, it should be cleared off the board. Yes, okay, fine. But again, it happens. If you saw Raz make this mistake every single game since he got here, then that's an argument. But he's not a fucking idiot.
And on the second goal, Raz probably never played with Lozon before last night.
It happens.
Right?
It happens.
Right? So I'm gonna call it the outlier and not go. But then we have to go back to the great Gretzky. 2 goals last night. Like you said, had a line on the third one. He had 2 multi-goal games in 489 regular season games. He has 2 in this playoffs. He's just, and the fact that he beat Slavin, who is arguably one of the top 5 or 6 defensemen in the league, he beat him like a fucking mule. And he outmuscled, I can't remember if it was Robinson or for the first goal. He just flicked the guy aside. There was a bloop of a pass, and he sort of flicked him like a booger and went in and scored. And the next thing you know, Brett Howden 2, Carolina nothing. 2 more assists for Mitch Marner, quietly, right? And he's the most under-visualized superstar in the game.
100%.
You know what? Does that make you?
Yeah.
You know me well. You know what I'm trying to say. He's not a prolific. He's not always on camera. He is the most, and I'm not going to say underrated because in the league they know exactly what he is. But the optics to regular people, oh, he's pretty and he skates around and he does this move and he does that. Leading with 24 points. Jack has 19 points, 17 apples. For the love of God, Jack. I don't know how many times we've said this. Please shoot the fucking puck.
Well,
pretty
okay,
please.
Hold on here. And far be it from me to defend Jack Eichel.
I know he's not your,
Everybody
he's not your buddy.
Get the camera rolling. This is what I'm saying about the lines. Either you are this or you're that. Either Mitch, you're a playmaker, and Brett, you're a goal scorer, or not. And that's the thing with Jack. I think that he's got a great shot. As honestly, as does most guys in the league. Like, let's be honest, guys can rip it these days. But Jack is a playmaker. He's a playmaker. You know, and it's like either he shoots or his job is to set up whoever the fuck it happens to be playing with, power play, penalty, whatever it happens to be, right? But he's like, let's say he's got Barbashev on there. Barbie can put the puck in the net, right? So it's like that's Jack's job is right now. That's why he's got 17 assists. And it's why Mitch has, 24, whatever. It's just unbelievable that John came in here, Tortorella, and was like, just need a couple seconds to figure out what I want to do. And then the more it's like playing, like I said, at an international tournament, you only have so many games to figure it out. And that's what Torts did. He came in and said, who needs to play with who? Bing, bang, boom. This is what we're doing. And it's clicking. If there was another series, Vegas would win another one.
Well, let's get to it. We've got to talk about, was it a goal? Wasn't a goal? Was it goalie interference? Did Torts jump the gun? Did he get the hot tip from Dave Rogowski, who's the video coach? Or, he doubled down this morning and last night and this morning, 10 out of 10 times. Bjorn, do you have that picture ready? Okay, Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching it, that black thing that looks like a donut with a white ring, that's the puck. Now, the referee said that the goalie was interfered with and was unable to make the save. Well, if the player can see the puck, the player has the right to go get the puck. And clearly, Barbashev, after a great move coming around the net, saw the biscuit and went after it.
Which is his stick right there,
yes.
Touching the trapper.
Yes. There's no other way to frame the question. What do you think?
I don't think it was a goal. I think that it would have been a miracle of miracles for that to be called a goal. The official was going to blow the whistle anyway before the puck even crossed the line. I mean, this was not a blatantly obvious that should have been a goal. Not in my opinion. I mean, I watched it I just, right from the start, I was like, I don't think that's a goal. As we can wish in one hand and crap in the other and see which gets filled first. If it's a goal, it's a goal. I just don't think it was close enough for the league to overturn it, or the refs or whatever to overturn it and say, oh my God, this is a goal. I mean, I don't think it was.
So this referee has a penchant to stand on the back of the goal and look over in. And if you look at that picture, he's probably where the top left corner of that is, trying to look in. he probably lost sight of the puck.
Which happens.
Which listen, it absolutely happens.
And for the record, when the ref does lose sight of the puck, he's entitled to blow that whistle.
Supposed to.
Right. So that's why another reason why I was like, that ref was blowing that whistle long before that puck even crossed the line.
But the call was goalie interference. And I think there you can draw a parallel in that when we had the conversation about the puck over the goal line in the Edmonton series, if you don't know, blow the whistle and make the right answer, right? Because once they called it no goal on the ice, my brilliant statistic research says to me that 96% of the time when it's called no goal on ice, the call is upheld. If you don't know, I feel like, and video review is not in Toronto anymore. It's in the buildings. The whole fucking shebang, all the fucking clowns in their black quarter zips, and they're all in there together, right? I think that they have to look at situations like this because this is critical. This is the 3-2 lead with 5 minutes to go in the game. If you don't know for sure, it's okay to blow the whistle. Make the right call. Make the right decision. Now, to your point, there's a very real chance that they would have come to this decision. However, there's also a chance if they just blew it dead and said, we're going to review this to make sure we get the right call, the outcome might have been different. I couldn't tell that much. I couldn't tell if the puck was free until I saw this picture when I was having my cereal this morning. But they need to try to be better, right? They need to try to make every call. And yes, will replay slow the game down? Yes, it will. I understand that. I think that there's a better way to handle it. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, I was surprised to see how many people, allegedly smart people and talking heads and people in the media like us, who said they thought it was a blown call. People who hate Vegas, right? Just fucking hate them. Said, puck was kind of loose. Barbashev's got a right to go poke it. And when he poked it under him and it went in the net. It's disappointing when the process doesn't allow them to get to the right answer regardless. And I'm not being a homer and saying, oh, fuck yeah, it was a goal. We got robbed. That's not me. You know that. But they should have a process in place where they can get to the right answer. And it's not as easy to do during the 82 or 84 game regular season and stuff like that. But this is the Stanley Cup Finals. They should have looked at that through a clear lens without it being affected by no goal. That's my opinion.
Well, if you look at this whole thing the way it happened, so when it happened in real time, there was not one part of me that thought it was a goal because of the ref blowing the whistle. And again, we couldn't see that the puck was loose. So imagine, just like we talked about how it's hard for guys like Raz, they're tired, they're fatigued, all these things are happening like this. It's the same thing for the refs. So had that puck been covered up like the official thought it was, and fucking Barbie's in there poking,
then it's no goal.
This is a bigger problem because you can't let guys be jabbing if the goalie's got the puck covered. So I feel terrible for the officials in this instance. The Edmonton-Anaheim situation, the ref was in the corner, called it a good goal, and he couldn't even see the puck across the line. That's why everybody was upset about that one. But I agree that there should be an instance of we are allowed to not make a call at all.
Let's step back.
Yeah.
Look at it with no decision made.
Yes.
And come to the right decision.
This isn't icing. This isn't offside. That's our shut the fuck up timer.
No, we're going way over.
It's not all these things. It's just, it happened so fast. The official thought the puck was covered. He didn't blow the whistle because he just felt like blowing the whistle. So that's where, to me, it was black and white. Now, the call being a goaltender interference, that's what I'm confused about. But I don't want to spend like another 20 minutes talking about this because we're just, but I think it was the whole thing. Now, of course, Torts is going to defend his decision. Why wouldn't he? But he's also got all these other people, hockey guys, TVs, iPads, whatever, that are like this, and that. We didn't have that. We're just guesstimating, right?
I just want them I just want them to be right. I don't care if we've got to wait 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the players got to go and stretch their legs and skate. Like, remember when we were kids and the ice used to fog and you used to have to skate to get the fog off the ice?
Well, it's like Montreal. There was 9-minute delay.
Right.
It's not this, then we're going to challenge this, then we're going to challenge this.
But get it right.
Right.
That's all I'm asking.
And they did in that instance, which was interesting. But yeah, I agree. Just don't make the call and go, there needs to be an official signal for, I'm not making a call.
There's the call right there. This is goal.
Yeah.
This is no goal.
Yeah,
this is I don't fucking know.
Hold on. Yeah.
This is hang on a second.
Yeah.
I don't
It needs to be that. It wouldn't surprise me if the league kind of moved toward changing that because it's not right. And I don't imagine the officials feel great, but they didn't make a mistake. It was just
they called what they called, and it might have turned out a different
Eddie,
way.
Totally. This shit has happened for 50 years,
Forever.
and it's going to happen 50 more years.
So when I did the Vegas Insider show, Ryan brought up that Joe Pavelski had called Tomas Hertl in the midst of the slump. And Joe Pavelski was involved with the great major penalty debate in year 2 with the Golden Knights and the alleged, right? And Ryan said, well, he called Hertl and all of a sudden Hertl starts scoring this, that. And Ryan says to me, do you forgive Pavelski? I'm like, fuck no. And he says, you're the pettiest guy I know. And that's a compliment. So I want to talk a little bit about what arguably changed the game in game 1 and the embarrassing coverage by ESPN. And I'm talking about the icing. Okay. And you and I, not too far in the past, I asked you directly, do you know what icing is in the NHL? And you said no.
That was in the middle of a game.
Right.
We were like, do you know what icing is? Nope, apparently not.
Nope,
Apparently
got no fucking idea. So the coverage, Sean McDonough, Ray Ferraro, spent the entire time, and Dave Jackson, who was a very good referee, who's now their rules guru, spent the entire time showing video replays of the fact that Lauzon wasn't past the red line when he dumped the puck in. Well, no fucking kidding, Sherlock. How about the fact that Cole Smith beat him to the fucking puck, right? They spent the entire time, Dave Jackson said, it's clearly fucking icing. Well, he didn't say fucking, but the point is they have to either go back to touch-up icing where there's no decision. They can't reverse that call because it's a judgment call. That, when he blew that icing, that faceoff should have been at center ice. They lose the next faceoff, the goal goes in, and all hell breaks loose. And you can't look at every call. We're not going to go through that whole dog and pony shit show. This is supposed to be the best of the best, the officials, right? They start with a big crop in the year, then they chop half or 3/4 off when they get to the playoffs, and they squeeze, and then you're down to 4 referees and 6 linesmen, I think, for the finals. Yes, he was not across the line. The dump in, not only did Cole Smith beat him to the point, he was closer to the direction the puck was headed when it was rimmed in. And they flat blew the fucking call. And I didn't even want to text you and say, hey, we really don't know what icing is.
But you should have. Do you know what it is? Still don't.
Still nothing.
I think the part that everybody's bagging on ESPN for, they're just barking up the wrong tree. Who gives a fuck if Lauzon was across the... What we know, that's why it was icing, because he wasn't across the red line. Like, we know that part of it.
Yeah, but there's two.
It's the other part.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Two legs to walk.
Listen, I watched almost all the games in the Memorial Cup this year, which just ended last week. Same thing. The same thing. Even the announcers were like, well, I think that was, I guess that was icing. Nobody knows what it is anymore. And that's another embarrassment for the league. But it is affecting things like that. Agreed. I agree.
I really want to smash a guy in the media, but maybe I'll give him the day off. Should I give him the day off?
Everybody gets a day off.
Should I give him the day off?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'll just tell you that there's somebody who sits near us on press row that says momentum isn't real.
We were talking about, we brought that up, I think, last pod or the time before.
He was getting name checked this time.
It was,
forget it.
Yeah, it definitely is a real thing. Because I'm going to tell you.
Not game to game. I don't think game to game.
I'm going to say this. If Vegas wins game 2 and not game 1, it's a different conversation coming back. You're coming in home with a split. Yay. But if Carolina won the first game and Vegas won the second game coming home.
Different.
Yes. That's where I kind of feel that thing is. But I would still take a first game win on the road every day of the week.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You're guaranteed a split, but you're also like, okay, we just won one on the road.
And Torch said, no, fuck that. We're here for 2.
Right. If Vegas won game 2,
done.
This shit's over. But again, can't discount Carolina. They are a strong hockey team. They're not flashy like Vegas, but they're strong.
The stat is teams that split at the home team wins 65% of the time. When they split the first 2, the team with home ice, it's like 20 and 11, 20 and 11, something.
Because it's back to home ice advantage, about like a best of 5 essentially,
best of 5,
right?
But not home ice yet. They still have to win one in our barn. Right? Vegas can hold serve and win.
Yeah.
3, 4, 6.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So let's talk briefly. What's your expectation for tomorrow?
Well, a couple things. I think
crazy overpriced media food.
I think, and this is just me, this was the loss Vegas needed to take. And here's why I say this. They were winning. Look how many games in a row they won. You're not going to win. Like even Carolina lost 1 out of 13 games. Or was that? Yeah, 13 games. Okay. They were going to have to lose at some point. Vegas was going to have to lose at some point. It was good that they lost this game. Now, if they're going to lose one, this is the time. It kind of humbles you a little bit and sets you back and go, okay,
we're in.
What do we need to do? I think that Vegas was more against Colorado. We were like, I still don't trust these fuckers. Even when Vegas was up 2-0, I'm like, I still don't trust Colorado. And then they went up 3-0. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And Vegas turned it around. That was what needed to happen to Vegas, was going down 3-0 in that game against Colorado. And because they went, fuck this. This is our barn. We're going to come back and win. And I think that this was a little bit, it wasn't a slap in the face. It wasn't any of those things. These are professionals. They'll be fine. But I think this was the game that they're going to say, okay, we're going to go home and we're going to win 3. And then we're going to win 4. And fuck it.
So you don't care that Carolina's undefeated on the road?
No.
I have to ask some dumb questions.
No. But I see what you're saying. But
undefeated in overtime, undefeated on the.
What did they win? What did Vegas win?
6.
6 in a row.
6.
Yeah.
7. No, 7. 2 against Anaheim.
Right.
4 against Colorado.
Right.
1 Carolina.
That's what I'm saying. 7 in a row is a long time. You're not going to win 11 in a row.
It's a little reset.
Correct. You just needed that little loss. Reset everything. Okay. Let's get back to our game. Let's do this. I just think it's so helpful when that happens, because in the long run, Vegas is going to win. Vegas is going to win.
Tomorrow or the series?
The series.
Wow.
Yeah, Vegas is going to win. And they're going to win. And this is going to be that turning point that I've seen it for how many years where teams, you've seen it. Was it Detroit swept Philly that one year?
Yeah.
And it was like everybody, you just knew Detroit was going to win that fucker. And it's the same as when Vegas won their first Stanley Cup. Florida won 1 game, but Vegas was the better team. And you could just see it. You could just see the things. But losing that 1 game against Florida, now we're not fucking around anymore. I don't think Carolina has the now we're not fucking around anymore attitude like Vegas does.
I think we're pretty done. Thanks to my good friend Steve at Guerilla Pizza. www.guerillapizza.com. 4 $25 gift certificates up for grabs. All you got to do is be one of the first 4 to comment, I want pizza, and we'll either get them to you or figure out a way to get the pizzas. They are having a watch party tomorrow and Tuesday night. Game starts at 5 o'clock. 900 South Las Vegas Boulevard, on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Hoover, just north of Charleston. Pizza, $2 beers, not big crowds. If I wasn't going to the game, I probably would go have pizza. Wouldn't have beer, but would have pizza. So I guess I'll flex and say Sarina and I are going to the game.
Maybe Game 5 pizza party.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Yes,
Game 5 pizza party at Guerilla.
Okay. What are we at, Bjorn? 6:52?
Bjorn fell asleep.
Bjorn's
This
napping.
motherfucker. He's sleeping.
Napping.
He's like
I actually got 651.
651.
Oh shit, we lost when we had 6:52 this morning.
Blame him.
We must swear too much.
The swear police come out every once in a while.
Oops. Fuck you.
Sorry.
All righty. Thanks to all 651 of you. If you like the podcast, please share it with your friends. Do tell them we swear a lot, but we don't care. And that's it. We will be back Wednesday after Game 4 for some more Stanley Cup coverage as we prepare for Game 5, which we know is going to happen in Carolina on Thursday night. Thanks again, everybody. We're out of here. We'll see you next in a few days, actually.